Apple is in discussions to invest in OpenAI as part of a new fundraising round that could value the ChatGPT maker at over $100 billion. Venture capital firm Thrive Capital is leading the round, with Apple and Microsoft expected to participate. This move could strengthen Apple's AI initiative, particularly its integration of OpenAI technology into Apple Intelligence, which enhances Siri and other AI-driven features. That and many, many more stories tonight. You're listening to Geek News Central, episode 1763, coming to this Monday, August 29th. I'm your host, Todd Cochran. A big shout out to our primary sponsor at GoDaddy.com. Grab their deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And to all of our awesome listeners, you're the real MVPs. Contribute your time, talent, or treasure. geeknewscentral.com/insider. We're live and lit with modern podcast apps from podcastapps.com. Join the value for value movement by downloading and using a modern podcast app. Dive into our digital hub at geeknewscentral.com, and don't forget to check out our partner shows, all linked at Geek News Central. Get on board. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to your favorite app. Of course, sign up for the newsletter while you're on the website. And of course, join the chat room at geeknews.chat. If you have feedback, you can email me directly at geeknews@gmail.com. Catch me on X at Geek News. And of course, you can check me out on podcasts. Hey, a massive salute to our sponsors, to our sponsor, GoDaddy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to sponsor the show. We want you to lock in your savings today, and all you got to do is get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Again, start saving today. $11.99 for a new domain name, or $6.99 a month economy hosting with a free domain, professional email, and an SSL certificate for the first year, or $12.99 a month managed WordPress hosting. Again, a free domain, professional email, and an SSL certificate, again, for the first year. You want to try a free trial of GoDaddy website builder? We've got it. Your choice of personal, business, a business plus plans. All of those deals are some of the best deals you can find on web hosting, domain names, you name it, within the known universe here on Earth. So get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy and lock in these savings. And remember, your promo codes help us do what we do, and quite frankly, have paid for pretty much all of the rebuild, including some of the unexpected expenses I've acquired this week. We'll talk about that in a second. But yes, it's a great time to support the sponsor at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at Geek News Central. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. We're pretty much rebuilt, and I just was being annoyed. I have, this beautiful boom arm, but it's coming in at a weird angle and kind of messing up camera views, to be honest with you. So today, there's a new boom arm here, and it's decent. Comes in under and comes up instead of coming over and going down. I like it a lot better. It gives me the ability to change at least two camera views without obscuring the view completely. And so I'm pretty pleased with that. But one situation that's been going on for a while, and it wasn't a problem in the other studio, is my trusty Mac Pro trash can that has been running 14 years. Something. It can't be updated no more. It's already basically get security updates. It had a fan issue. And basically for a while, ever since as soon as you turn on it, the fans go. Now that computer was literally 20 feet down the hallway before. Now that computer is 4.5, 5 feet away. And it was just driving me crazy. And I really got to the point now where I can't get updates for Adobe. There was 3 or 4 software programs that wouldn't update because of the lack of whatever support in the system. And I've gotten my my amortization out of that device, and I really took a long time thinking about it. Well, not a lot, couple weeks. So I went ahead and made the plunge and picked up a Mac Studio. Much cheaper than the trash can cost me so many years ago, but still a good chunk of money. Got the very lowest model. Didn't get any extra RAM or nothing like that. So that came in. Well, I missed it yesterday. Came in today. I got it installed, got it up. It's running. Can't hear it. Absolute silence, which is a beautiful thing. So that was a major expense. Obviously, doing that. And some of the changes here, like this boom arm was relatively inexpensive compared to stuff before, $79. So I can't complain. That's, a decent price and serving what I want to, and I can see what I want within the computer screen as well. So my view is not as obstructed. I have one last piece of gear that I don't have room for. I just don't know where to put it, and it's kind of an add-on thing. And so I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do. But other than that, I think we're pretty much locked and loaded with the studio the way it needs to be. Phase 2 of my loft reorganization. I spent mostly Tuesday, Wednesday, really getting that organized. And I've got about 75 to 80% of the boxes unloaded that were in the office. So basically, I have my entire office. I have my tax stuff up here. I have all my paperwork. I found stuff like my DD-214, and forgot to silence my phone here, folks. Sorry about that. My DD-214, stuff that was basically that I needed, and I've got shelf space left. So I'm pretty happy with where I'm at from that standpoint. I do have a bunch of kitchen stuff, so my daughter here in town, I'm going to give her a bunch of stuff. And then once I've got all that done, phase 3 will begin. But I don't know, maybe another week to kind of get stuff up here. I know you guys don't care, but if you guys understood the volume of stuff that came out of the studio location that I've had to find a home for, that stuff that I need access to, it's been off. It was off the chart. And actually, my mom was up here today, and she said, "Wow, you did a pretty good job getting all that stuff organized." And it's still not completely done, but it's the point now where the important stuff has been found. I can kind of deal with it, and then little by little, a box or two a day, as far as what's left in the other building, and then tackling the storage unit. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to a artificial intelligence conference in about 2 weeks. September, what is the dates for this thing? Yeah, like the 11th and 12th. I'm going to an event in Ohio, and I went to it last year, the Macon event. So I will probably start hitting stuff over there. Maybe even this weekend. Who knows? We'll see where I get. But I'm making good progress here. Very, very good progress. So I'm way ahead where I was expecting to be. And I haven't had a life, haven't done anything, haven't went anywhere. So that's what's been going on. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know kind of where we're at, what's happening. It's part of, I guess, being a little more transparent with all of you, with everything that's going on. Also, I learned something from doing the new media show yesterday. I forgot to lower the TV between shows. So I put a piece of tape over in the corner of the TV that's got a up, down, stick them on it. It reminds me I have to lower the TV for the other show, because I was like looking up into the stars with the show with Rob. So it's still not absolutely perfect. I know that even now I'm rearranging stuff as I'm getting ready to get into the heavy content of the podcast. So I hope it finds you well. If you've got comments again on today's show, geeknews@gmail.com. If you're new here, all this drama started in around Memorial Day. And so we're soon to be through the drama of everything. But our lead story today, obviously, Apple is in talks to invest in OpenAI. It's a big move. It's a big deal. And that would cement ties to a partner integral to its efforts to gain ground. And what's funny here is you've got Apple investing, Microsoft investing. I think Google has even OpenAI's got more money from more people. It's really everyone's got their claws. Now, I don't think anyone can dig deep enough. Maybe Apple could. I don't know if they'd want to acquire, or it's too early. It's just a weird time for OpenAI. But I'm telling you, I was working on something today, and I was basically flushed out like 20 things I wanted a new product offering to do. And I dropped it into our internal OpenAI query thing. So I'm not sending, company intelligence out to train the model. And I said, what am I missing here? And it gave me 4 or 5 things I had to really think about. I was like, wow, it really made my project paper a lot better. I had already written the majority of it, but it was pretty cool. It really, really was. And so again, I continue. How much are you guys using? How much are you using ChatGPT and Claude and stuff like that? I really do want to hear from you on exactly that. So geeknews@gmail.com. Now, this may come as a surprise to many of you, but Spectrum has been named the most reliable internet provider in a new report. Yes, Spectrum. So if you want reliable internet, Spectrum is I guess, the way to go, according to this news article. The cable provider led all others by a wide margin, and OpenSignal's broadband reliability experience metric, which measured how often internet provider dipped below 25 megs and 3 megs up, which was the FCC's minimum broadband definition. Until recently, reliable in this sense doesn't necessarily mean your internet never goes out. More that suggests with things like streaming video on YouTube, or streaming today as we are out on the internet through Starlink. And actually, people have been amazed that I've been able to do the show with not as many hiccups. Of course, it hasn't rained while we've done the show yet. So there was a few queries with Rob the other day. My point-to-point wasn't working so good. So we put him on Starlink, put the stream on Starlink. And you people saw a couple fudges with that. And when there's more leaves, the signal's not as good between the point-to-point. As we start getting into fall months and as leaves come down, it'll get better. But, honestly, few users need the multi-gig speeds that internet providers love to promote. I'd take it. There are some moments when reliability becomes essential. This is for me. I was looking at my Starlink usage so far, and it's on a 30-day period. I'm probably going to top out this month from working from home and everything that's went on. Probably 800 or 900 gigs. Trying to keep it underneath that 1 gig limit, because that's when they get our 1 terabyte limit. Or is that it? That's correct. Yeah. Try to keep it below 1,000. That seems when they get funny here. So time will tell. But anyway, Spectrum, the most reliable internet provider on the internet. Now, at the same time, OpenAI says ChatGPT usage has doubled since last year. And I'm not surprised whatsoever. OpenAI said on Thursday, ChatGPT has now more than 200 million weekly users. Why does that matter? ChatGPT remains the leader. By numbers, OpenAI says that 92% of Fortune 500 companies are using its product. People are using it too now as part of their daily lives, making a real difference in areas like healthcare and education. Really? Whether it's helping with routine tasks, solving hard problems, or unlocking creativity, CEO Sam Altman said in a statement, the battle for users remain really hotly contested here. Of course, Meta said early on Thursday adoption of its open source Llama models has grown. We'll talk a little bit about that a little later in the show, but that's the word from OpenAI. Now, NVIDIA, they can't win. They can't win here for losing. To be kind of frank, it's one of these things where they come in with great earnings. They've come in with great earnings, and the investors are still not happy. It's ridiculous to me. The company stock fell 3%, despite posting better than expected second quarter earnings. Their revenue jumped 122% year over year, up $30 billion, up from $13.5 billion. Their all-important data center revenues topped out at $26.3 billion. That's a 154% year-over-year increase. But they wanted a bigger blowout, and they wanted more earnings. In this economy and the way things are going, this is acidine. Acidine. This is for those of you watching the show, this is what they wanted. They wanted much bigger numbers. So I don't, you can't make these folks happy. They should be thrilled with this. It blows me away. It really, really does. Any company in existence on the internet doing those types of numbers, man, people be backflipping on this. My 2 Red Bulls of the week. Tasty, so tasty. Controversial California bill to prevent AI disasters is heading to Governor Newsom, despite push from big tech. They passed a sweeping artificial intelligence bill, Senate Bill 1047, that seeks to establish safeguards for tech firms developing large AI models. Now, if Newsom signs it, it will dramatically alter the way top AI firms operate. He's not indicated whether he plans to veto or sign it. He's going to sign it. He is. He signs everything. Did you hear about Massachusetts and how much money they've spent on some certain things that's been going on? He'll sign anything. He doesn't care about California tax dollars. Not at all. So, in an interview with Yahoo Finance, Brian Sazian Wednesday, Salesforce CEO, CRM and CEO Mark Banoff weighed in. He says, look, AI safety has been at the highest of everybody's interest to make sure these AI models don't get out of control. And I think these ideas are incredibly interesting and need to be fully evaluated. But this bill codifies voluntary safety evaluations that AI labs such as Meta have already committed to. But the bill requires developers spending over $100 million to build an AI model to perform safety testing. They're required to mitigate the risk of testing finds a model has a potential to cause catastrophic harm. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But, even though Elon, he voiced his support for it, he said it was a tough call. Elon said, I think California should probably pass the AI safety bill. For 20 years, I've been an advocate for AI regulation, just as we regulate any product technology as a potential risk to the public. So we'll see. We'll see where this leads, and if this slows things down. Now, surveillance cameras are, I'm sure many of us have them. I'm a big user of Wise security cameras. I can't even tell you how many I have at this point. All I know is you will be on camera if you approach the driveway or approach the property from any direction. And outbuildings and everything. We've got them all everywhere. And all that data is being done to the cloud. Now, someone could jam us and shut us down. So, and I'm working on some things here to make sure my security in the loft is where it should be. I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but a widely used surveillance camera has been found carrying a high severity vulnerability. Researchers from Akamai recently reported cyber criminals started exploiting the flaw in AVM 1203 surveillance cameras designed and sold by a Taiwanese manufacturer called AV Tech. Since the model reached its end-of-life status long ago, AV Tech will not be patching the bug. Now, here's the challenge with this. I have got wired cameras, wired being Ethernet. You plug them into a PoE, they power them, and then you can make your cameras accessible from the internet, which if I was to do that again, put those wired cameras up, I'm definitely going to use the Unify solution because they firewall everything, and it's completely, I guess for a better word, segregated. But I don't need to at this point. But if you have one of these, researchers found that this flaw is allowing folks to hijack the endpoints and then put them in a botnet and infect your internal network. So if you have security cameras, if you don't know what model they are and they're old, it might be time to go look for a little bit of an update. I've got a couple of things I've invested in over the years on GoFundMe and Indiegogo that have really, my money's just disappeared. But this new shipping guarantee program will give backers more peace of mind. And though it's only available to established and proven campaigns, in other words, the campaigns that are really at risk are not the ones that they're basically guaranteeing. So more and more reputable companies are using the platform to launch regular products, making the crowdfunding campaign more of a PR move. I see this all the time. So the shipping guarantee program is a higher standard in your garden variety crowdfunding campaign. It won't be available to everyone. In order to qualify, you have to have a proven track record of successful crowdfunding on Indiegogo, and your product must be in that final manufacturing stage. So this is designed for those that are using Indiegogo as a promo tool and not as a means of getting necessary funding for making a device. You might say these standards are probably out of the reach of anyone who considers themselves an indie. So that's where we're at on this so far. So we'll see where this leads. I do want to thank the folks that are supporting the show with their dollars. Those of you that are providing value back to the show in the way of treasure. I want to thank Michael P for his, or Pay. And Michael, you're going to have to tell me how to pronounce your last name. Pay. It's P-A-Y. So I'm going to assume it's Pay. So Michael, thank you for your $5 sustaining donation. It's greatly appreciated. And we did have some folks streaming sats this time. We had no boost that came in. Pessmerk, thank you for you streaming sats to the show. Had a lot of participation in the last new media show, people using Podcasting 2.0 apps. But I guess that's just because you're all, podcasters are dialed into what's going on. But Pessmerk, thank you for your live streaming sats that you sent to the show. It's greatly appreciated. Now, you can participate in this yourself. You can help the show through time, talent, or treasure. And, feel free to contribute your time, your talent. And if you don't have time and talent, you all have talent. You know what I'm getting at. Consider contributing your treasure. And on geeknewscentral.com/insider, we have that 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, or $25 a month sustaining ongoing donations at the levels that are indicated on the website. Also, a great place for you to send a solitary PayPal donation to. And most importantly, for you to find a way to get one of those newfangled podcast apps and give it a try and see how you like it. Now, the show numbers have been going up. We got a lot of new people listening to this podcast. So I hope that you'll take the time. And those of you that are new, if you're not interested in supporting our sponsor, support the show through becoming an insider. Or if you have used and supported the sponsor in the past and you don't have a need, then come in again and donate your time, talent, or treasure. A little bit of a weird article, and this is just kind of, scientists do goofy things, right? A biohybrid robot is being controlled by electrical impulses in mushrooms. So this is a really bizarre one. Building a robot takes time, technical skills, right materials. In creating a pair of new robots, Cornell researchers have cultivated an unlikely component, one not found in the lab but on the forest floor, fungal mycelia. By harnessing mycelia's innate electrical signals, the researchers discovered a new way of controlling biohybrid robots that can potentially react to their environment better than pure synthetic counterparts. The paper, they tied this to a robot so that the robot would move as they got these electrical signals. I'm going to leave the article up for you guys in the show notes to review, but it's a pretty wild concept of what they done. Meanwhile, over at TikTok, there is a lawsuit that could change the face of social media forever. Now, that's a pretty strong word when they say it's going to change the world forever. We know that Section 230 protects publishers like my company, folks over at TikTok, Facebook, all the variety of places. But there's a lawsuit that's going on over at TikTok. It's been going on for a while. In 2021, a 10-year-old girl, Nyla Anderson, found a viral meme in her TikTok feed. The video promoted something called the Blackout Challenge. And it promoted choking yourself until you black out. Well, this young lady sadly died. And her family has been suing TikTok ever since. The lower courts dismissed the case, but a U.S. Court of Appeals ruled that Nyla's family could sue TikTok and specifically pointed to the TikTok logo as not being protected. The ruling says TikTok makes choices about the content. TikTok makes choices about the content recommended and promoted to specific users, and by doing so, it's engaged in its own first-party speech. While no person at TikTok curates content for anyone's feed, it is fair to call the algorithm the arbiter, and the algorithm is programmed by TikTok, which is owned by ByteDance. And, of course, this is the one that's being told they have to sell their entire entity and get out of the United States. So we will see if this particular case has an action that basically breaks the Section 230. So an logo here is what is prompting the ability for this case to go forward. A very interesting, very, very, very interesting move by the courts. The UK government is set to equip teachers with AI tools to help them mark and plan lessons. The project, which has £4 million of government investment behind it, will feed government documents, including curriculum guidance, lesson plans, and anonymized pupil systems into AI models, which will then spit out accurate, high-quality content. Oh, really? Who's going to check that? Now, this is not a phrase generally associated with AI assistants. For example, we asked Microsoft Copilot how many times does the letter R appear in raspberry. It replied the letter R appears twice in the word raspberry. R-A-S-B-E-R-R 3 times. So, how many times in strawberry? 3. What possibly could go wrong here? So according to the Department of Science, Innovation, and Technology, the government aims to ease the administrative burden. So we'll see. UK Science Secretary, this is the first of many projects to transform how we see and use the public sector, how we will see and use public sector data. We'll put information we hold to work using it in a safe and responsible way. I don't know. We'll see about this. Hopefully the teachers are smart enough to be able to protect themselves on this. Now, EU officials, in another story, believe that Telegram lied about the number of users to skirt regulations. Meanwhile, their founder is still in. I guess he's still in jail. I don't know if he got out with or not. But here we are. The result of a technical investigation. The Joint Research Center, Department European Commission, is conducting a technical investigation to attempt to determine Telegram's true users number. Officials are also scanning Telegram, according to Financial Times. We have a way through our own systems and calculations on how accurate the user data is. Oh, really? You're spying on IP data? Is that what you're doing? How are you knowing how many users Telegram has? Makes you go, Earlier this year, Telegram claimed to only have 41 million users, which is 4 million less than the 45 million to make this reporting mandatory. Now, that figure is significant. Now, again, it's designated as, they then become designated as a very large online platform. So we'll see. Now, we know that French prosecutors formally charged Durov, and he's been accused of things we talked about on the last show. We've got enough detail on that. You can go to the last podcast and listen to my rant on that. Meanwhile, the Olympics may be over, but Brian Cipher claims attack on Olympic venue promises 300 gigs of leaked data. French Newswire reported at the time that people behind the attack target a system used to centralize financial data related to approximately 40 institutions. This blog post revealed nothing about the nature of the data it allegedly stole, only said it amounted to 300 gigs. The post includes a countdown timer indicating that the data may be leaked at 2000 UTC. The Register, which this article came from, contacted the individuals for additional details about their alleged attack, but they did not respond. Since the incident was officially disclosed on the public on August 6th, this is 23 days ago, details about the police probe in the incident or of the affected institutions have not been forthcoming. So now who or what is Brain Cipher? I thought it was an individual to begin with. This is a group allegedly behind the attack, which only spun up recently as June, and they had a connection to an attack on an Indonesian national data center a few months ago. So we will see where this activity leads. You know, one thing I'll say about mobile phones, they sure have not gotten any lighter, right? They're as heavy as one can imagine. And the Samsung S25 the Ultra may drop a few ounces, which would be nice, according to the folks at Android Central. Now, this rumor that's out there, it says Samsung is working on a thinner, lighter one. Without getting specific, the tipster claims that S25 will beat Google Pixel 9 Pro XL and Apple's new iPhone 16 Pro Max in those respective areas. And, of course, following the rumors, there were concerns about the device's battery and whether or not Samsung would change its materials to enable a large capacity in a smaller space. So time will tell on this, whether or not they implement this or not. I've got an article for what's coming new to Hulu. For those of you that are Hulu fans, that'll link will be in the show notes. Also, Google announced some stuff today with Google Gemini getting a new Gen's assistant called Imagen 3. Almost pushed the wrong button here. So what's going on is Google's updated its Gemini large language model with a feature dubbed GEMS. that allows users to train Gemini on any topic of their choice and use it as a customized AI assistant for various use cases. GEM's reviewed at Google I/O this year. It's currently available on Gemini Advanced Business and Enterprise users. It's a paid premium subscription of Gemini. So once a user has created a new gem, they have to write instructions for it to follow. So this kind of sounds to me like its own chat GPTs. And I use GPTs pretty heavily within OpenAI in the pre-production, some of the stuff they do with the shows. Not surprisingly, the Iranian cybercriminals are targeting U.S. defense targets with all new malware. Microsoft has released new intelligence claiming Iranian-sponsored threat actor Peach Sandstorm, where they get these names, is using a custom-built backdoor and password spraying attacks for intelligence operations. The backdoor named Tickler by Microsoft Threat Intelligence is a specialized multi-stage malware used to compromise target organizations before moving laterally to gather intelligence using server message blocks. So they're going after satellite data. They're trying to get into C2 infrastructure. Most of that is siloed. So I don't know how they're going to get into that. It's a very interesting thing. If they can get into siloed information, that's pretty scary to be honest with you. The DJI Neo has been leaked. Of course, we kind of knew maybe this was coming. The guy that did the unboxing did not fly it. But this is interesting. The pricing on this, it looks like it's going to be about $220. The DJI Neo started at $220 US, 167 pounds, or 325 Australian dollars, or 199 in euros. So we will see if this is more. Now they got a fly combo kit, which will be more, around 350. So it's a tiny little itty bitty thing. So time will tell where this particular when this is going to be out on the street. Should be soon. According to Cyberscoop, online scam cycles are getting shorter. You have to laugh. I got a call. Yes, I did. I got a call. What it was going on was I was not getting phone call. There was a Battle Creek Veteran Administration called me on a weird number, and they left a message and told me, I'm getting ready to get off. All of you guys have to do this. I'm about to get scoped again. I got to drink. I'm going to get appointment and drink the gallon water of that flushing material, and then spend 5 hours in the toilet before I. You get the picture. And so I've got to. They're making an appointment for me to go get looked at, just normal checkout. And so I opened my phone to accept calls from unrecognized numbers, and I got a ring in from 808, which normally I would not answer, but a series of numbers I'm familiar with, I answered it, and of course it was Officer, I think his name was John, whatever it was. My suspicion went up immediately. I was like, hey, he said, I'm calling from the Hawaii Sheriff's Department. And I'm like, okay. Now, in Hawaii, the Sheriff's Department is in charge of basically the jail, courthouse. They have very, very few deputies. It's not a big organization. Like many of your counties have pretty big sheriff's departments. In Hawaii, it's not big. Most of everything that happens from a police standpoint in Hawaii happens by the Honolulu or HPD or one of the associated city police departments. And he says, you missed a court appearance on such and such date, and I'm calling, and I thought, oh yeah, you can get out of this because you can pay me. I'm sure that's what it was. But he says, are you so-and-so, and do you live in, he read off an address, and I'm like, no, I don't live there. You got the wrong address. He got the address wrong, and he had a lot of data though, right? Which was I'm online, so how hard can this be to collect very much information, right? And so I played with the guy for about probably 20 minutes until I got bored. And then, I basically said, okay, I said, I know you're a scammer. They don't call people that have missed court. They send an arrest and you get arrested. They just don't call you. If you have been served, which I hadn't, and if you don't go to court and you're supposed to be in the court, they send someone to come pick you up. Pretty simple. So, as enforcement attribution improves, scammers are ditching static infrastructure and drawn out schemes for shorter campaigns that use quote unquote disposable assets. And we know that, we all get the emails saying, oh, this phone that you bought, and they want you to call and try to get to call them back, right? But anyway, the findings from a mid-year cybercrime report released Thursday by Chain Analysis show that scammers are refreshing their online and blockchain-based infrastructure faster than before. For instance, a huge chunk of all scam revenues tracked by Chain Analysis on blockchain were sent to wallets that only became active over the past year. Something the company suggests a surge of newly created scamming campaigns. That's significantly larger than any observed a year ago. Between 2020 and 2024, the average number of days scams were active has significantly decreased to 271 days. So anyway, but still, this is all looking at how people are getting billions of US, UK, Canadian dollars from unsuspecting victims. Please help us. Help us use our technology here to protect the ones we love. Now, this is the next product. This is about a product. I don't know if I want one of these. Would you like a toothbrush that has been made out of titanium? I can't think of anything worse. I don't want to put anything in my mouth that's metal. I'm sure it's just the base of it's titanium. But Lefen has announced it'll be showcasing a new titanium version of the Lefen Wave IFA at IFA 2024. It'll make the world's first electric toothbrush made of a high-end aerospace-grade material. I have titanium in my back. I don't need titanium in my mouth. While rocket ships and automotive components may be the first thing to spring to mind, it's a material also known for its use in the medical field. Yes, thanks to its non-toxicity and antibacterial properties. I'll take my toothbrush that I just replace on a regular basis. And this brand is also known for developing one of the Dyson supersonic rivals, the Lefen Swift. So anyways, you guys want a titanium toothbrush? Just to me sounds like a little itty bit of a kind of a scam. Also, if you are using Chrome, make sure you update it. They just had a high risk security flaw. Go update now. The first update for Chrome 128 fixes several lower security vulnerabilities. So get out there, and if you're using Chrome and it shows that you're doing update, make sure you hit the button to do the update. Hey, if you got comments on today's show, matter of fact, if you're watching today's show, there's something that I have noticed already today. I need to put a marker on the TV. I need to move the TV this way for this show. Yeah, I know you guys don't care, but it's the tweaks that count. It's the tweaks that count. Wise, I love Wise cams. The Wise AI can now search your camera footage so you don't have to. You can search for specific keywords like cat or delivery driver. Delivery drivers, when someone is new or there's a substitute because they always go to the wrong door here. So this morning I'm putting notes on all the doors. Not this door is not an entrance. This door leads to the basement. Go to the back door. Go to the side door. Knock loudly or open the door and yell, UPS. I watch the cameras. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get my package. I'm not going to get out there before he's gone or she's gone. But anyway, why does it make it easier to find your cats if your cat's knocked over your planter? I think that's pretty obvious. Again, with the feature, you can search for things you might have been caught on camera. Again, like truck, delivery person. You can even add more details to your search, something like show me my cat in the backyard or a woman under an umbrella. And Wise will pull them up for your search. Now, it's not perfect, and they say you might get wonky results. That's probably to be expected with all this for a while. Speaking of AI, OpenAI, OpenAI and Anthropic will share their models with the U.S. government. Oh, this is interesting. The company signed memorandums of understanding with the U.S. AI Safety Institute to provide access to the models before, both, and after the public release. The government says the step will help them work together to evaluate safety risks. U.S. agents said it would provide feedback. Sharing AI models, is a significant step when federal and state legislatures are considering what kind of guardrails to put on the tech. On Wednesday, California, of course, we already talked about this. In the meantime, the White House is asleep. It's asleep. No one's at the White House. Who's running the country, by the way? Do we know? Do we know who's running the country? No one's at the White House. That's for doggone sure. President's on vacation. Vice president is campaigning. So who's running this thing? Beats me. Chatbots. Chatbots are offering police officers the ultimate out to spin police reports. Yes, they're being used to write police reports. I would like to see how that is implemented, to be honest with you. I really would. If you're suspected of crime, would you trust a chatbot to accurately explain what happened? Some police departments think the tech is ready. And officers started using chatbots to quickly complete their most dread tasks of drafting police reports, simply don't want to go back. I can understand that. In June, a police department in Frederick, Colorado, boasted that it was the first law enforcement agency in the world to go live on Axon Draft 1, a new kind of police tech that allows a chatbot to spell out AI-generated police reports almost immediately after a body camera stops recording a police interaction. Powered by ChatGPT, Draft 1 is initially pitched in April to police departments globally. Axon, a billion-dollar company known for tasers and body cameras, hyped it as a revolutionary software product that drafts high-quality police reports and narratives in seconds based on auto-transcribed body-worn camera audio. So, as confirmed by May Frederick's Police Department, the first agency purchased the product, soon followed by an untold number of departments around the U.S. If it's taking the audio and summarizing it, I would imagine probably that data at first go would probably be quite good. I think they would have to be reviewed. The audio would have to be associated with it to make sure that if someone's getting prosecuted, the lawyer can review the audio, review the police report, and make sure those sync up. We'll see. I don't know. What do you feel about this? I have a mixed feeling on this. Interviews that use Blue Sky, they're using anti-toxicity options to limit dogpiling and hostile quotes. I don't even know what dogpiling means. I guess it's when people pile on to a thread. Is that what that is? Anyway, so if you use Blue Sky, they're adding some new features here. Former President Trump claims Zuckerberg plotted against him during the 2020 election in a soon-to-be released book. They've already kind of admitted, did things that the Biden administration pressured them to do that probably, in my opinion, probably cost Trump the election. The Hunter laptop thing, which made us suppressed, probably was enough on the fraction of error, or within the enough to drive some votes down. So we'll see. He wrote in a new book set to be published next week that he plotted with him and said Meta chief executive would spend the rest of life in prison if he did it again. Wow, that's strong words. If represents Trump's most recent attack on Zuckerberg. And of course, they did intervene. And the book is called Save America. A Trump authored coffee table book being released on September 3rd includes an updated photograph of Trump meeting with Zuckerberg in the White House. Under the photo, Trump writes that Zuckerberg would come to the Oval Office to see me. He would bring his very nice wife to dinners, be as nice as anyone could be, while always plotting stall shameful lock boxes in a true plot against the president. Trump added, referring to a $420 million contribution his wife and Priscilla made during the 2020 election to fund election infrastructure. Did you know that? That they donated $420 million for election infrastructure? Why would they have to fund election infrastructure? Fintech outfit Klarna swaps humans for AI by not replacing departing workers. Buy now, pay later outfit Klarna CEO Sebastian, Sematakowski is so thrilled with performance of AI in his business, he's planning to shrink the human headcount by half. Klarna released its H1 report yesterday. He repeated excitement expressed previously about AI. After a couple of quarters of trialing the bot, he said it's doing the work of around 700 employees in less time and with the same level of customer satisfaction. We've talked about them before, but he's swapping people out as people leave. The question is, when do companies start letting people go? That's the next question, right? Meanwhile, Verizon's getting impatient. They're tapping another satellite operator to make texting from the middle of nowhere easier. Verizon's teamed up with a company called, what is the company? Telecom giant says U.S. customers of compatible smartphones will have access to emergency messaging. Verizon told residents no additional cost. It'll be available on the Pixel 9 family and the S25. As partner for the service, Verizon has picked Skylo, a company that styles itself as a pioneer in non-terrestrial network communications for smartphone and other drivers. Skylo doesn't operate satellites itself, but leases spectrum from other providers such as Viasat, Equistar, Strigo, and Legato Networks. So Viasat's, that's a stock I would avoid like the plague. However, AST so far has only has a single test satellite in orbit. So they are so far behind on this, and they do not want T-Mobile to get the jump on them like it's already going to have. Meanwhile, X labeled an unflattering NPR story about former President Trump as unsafe. A spokesperson from X said the warning was a false positive and has since been deleted. It was briefly discouraged. This is going to happen on all articles. It's just getting hyper-focused right now because of the election time. Meta's oversight board looks into anti-trans posts that the company won't remove. So they're looking at these. And the company's hate speech policy prohibits any direct attack on individuals, but they are wanting feedback from the public. There's 2 cases specifically that they are looking at that appeal the removal of the content. I'll have the link up in the show notes if you'd like to participate in the feedback. Yelp has sued Google, stoking fears of more antitrust battles. The online review site Yelp has filed a lawsuit against Google. Oh, I don't know why I switched that. The online review site has filed a lawsuit against Google in San Francisco, accusing the search engine of illegally monopolizing the local search market. In a blog post announcing this, Yelp co-founder CEO Jeremy Stoppelham criticized Google for prioritizing its own service over fair competition with companies like Yelp, resulting in many searches that lead to 0 clicks and keeping users on Google search. Google's illegal leverages monopoly in the general search to dominate the local search traffic. And we know this. This is for sure. And, this move comes shortly after a U.S. District Court ruled that Google is a monopoly, having used its dominance online search market to stifle competition. And we will see. And Yelp has consistently advocated for improvements to Google's local search features. So time will tell where this is all going to lead. CrowdStrike. Oh, this is funny. CrowdStrike has just reported its best ever financial results. But unsurprisingly, it's not going to last. So what's going on here? It's Q2 2025. It's in its Q2 2025 results. The company reported a revenue growth of, how much was it? 32% year over year. The GAAP income of $47 million compared to $8.47 million in the same period. Total revenue quarter was $963.9 million. So as it stands, the company is at the heart of this worldwide outage for Windows, and that outage occurred on July 19th. So that was the final weeks of their last quarter. So we'll see if it's what's the effect is going to be going forward. Largely because we know that they're probably going to, be facing some expenses for lawsuits. Do you shop at Dick's Sporting Goods? They said they have sensitive data exposed in a cyber attack. In a regulatory filing with the SEC, Dick's Sporting Goods discovered unauthorized third-party access to its information systems on August 21st. The company said it immediately activated a cyber response plan. While an investigation is ongoing, Real Change said did not believe the attack was material. What Dick's Sporting Goods did not say was how the attackers gained access to the network. So we'll see where this one leads as well. Also, there's a Senate bill that is being purported to being advanced. They've got a House partner. It's called the Health Cybersecurity Act, calls on the CISA and HHS to collaborate on defending the health facilities from cyber incidents. So from that story, this bipartisan bill, now, which was introduced by Representative Jason Crow, Democrat, Colorado, Brian Fitzpatrick, Republican, Pennsylvania, and Annie Kim, a Democrat, New Jersey, would require the Cybersecurity and Information Security Agency and Department of Health and Human Services team up on a variety of measures to strengthen cyber defense and provide resources to non-federal organizations in the healthcare space. Cyber attacks are attacking Americans. The medical data must be stopped. I think it's too late. I'm leading this effort to bolster cyber defense and protect some Americans' most personal sensitive information from malicious users. It's already out there. They're getting health data and everything else. So we'll see. Hey, if you've been watching the show today live, make sure you say hello on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever you may be watching. I appreciate it when you do put in your comment. For those of you that are on Tumblr, Tumblr's moving its 500 million blogs to WordPress. So Tumblr's migrating back to WordPress after several years away. Why? Because WordPress bought Tumblr. So since Automatic acquired Tumblr for $3 million, the platform has seen several upgrades and revenue growth. So logic next step is for Tumblr to move over to the WordPress platform to simplify the company's portfolio. The migration is anticipated to bring several benefits, including the ease of sharing work across WordPress and Tumblr. Tumblr also benefits from the ongoing open source development from WordPress.org. However, the migration is expected to be a monumental task, with Tumblr currently hosting 500 million blogs. Automatic described the change as one of the largest technical migrations in internet history. Well, I would think so. That's a big move. So the next year's upgrade to 128 gigabits of RAM, or 12 gigabits in RAM, will be limited to the iPhone 17 Pro. That's the rumor. So we will see where this leads. Hey, folks, if you've enjoyed the show today, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, @geeknews on Twitter. Of course, don't forget about our sponsor, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, the place to go to lock in savings on domain names, hosting accounts, you name it, that's the place. And of course, we want you to support the show as an insider. It's been my pleasure to bring you a podcast today. I'll be back with you all next week. This is Monday. I'll be back with you Thursday. I'll be back with you all next week. So we're not going anywhere. We'll continue to tweak my view. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the family. Thank you for staying subscribed. How's the shows been? Have you enjoyed them? You're doing well. Thank you for the heads up also that the audio was a little low on the last show. Something happened. I don't know why it didn't get processed. So keeping an eye on that to make sure you get the best quality product. If you didn't hear the little audio show, it's because one of you very Akamai listeners let me know that there was an issue here. What do you guys think of the new position of the boom mic camera views that change? This camera view over here is not as good. It's kind of boring, but it is a view that I could use. So maybe we'll switch it up and do that. But a little bit of camera switching tonight. Hopefully I got my muscle memory down and everything's working good. Big change to show processing tonight. So it's going to be a little bit fun. More on that as we implement new things. All right. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. We'll see you on Thursday. Take care.